What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Y'all already know who it is. It's your girl, it's your big sis, LELL Vintage. Yeah, we here for another dope episode of Stage Left. It's a one and done. It's a personal one, just me and you, me and T. Yeah. So listen here. Happy New Year, number one. I pray that everyone's New Year and holiday was blessed, especially special and superb. Listen, it was a time for family, spending time with your loved ones, loving on each other, because life is simply sweet and short. So, however, we're back. It's a new season. It's a new year. We doing big things, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to see you all. Got the dopest audience out there. You already know who I and who you are. Um, we need to get some business out first. So I need you to hop on over to IG and Facebook and click like, follow, share at 609 Stage Left and Top Class Radio. You already know the world's flyest radio station, the flyest radio station worldwide. You dig? And you already know your host is Swexy, so we're just gonna do it like that and leave it right there. Again, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I pray that everyone is safe and warm. We've had a couple of storms come through here and some major things happening. And I'm praying for all the families. Shout out to my Sanchez crew. My heart is with you all in this time. Um, Shout out to everyone out there fighting this war on the street of violence. That's what I really wanted to talk to you about is the things that are going on outside of the threshold of our home, the things that we don't have any control over, but we do have a say in what happens with our children when our children are out and what they're particularly doing. I know for years, my boys would ask us if they could go to a party. Can we go to a party? Can we do this? Can we do that? And for the most part, it wasn't a no. It was, I'm not sure about that. I don't, who's going to be there? I need to know who's going to be in the atmosphere. I need to know if there's going to be supervision. I need to know what's going to go on because I don't mind creeping and sitting outside the door waiting for you to come back out. You go in, but you'll come back out to the car when I say it's time to go. But nowadays, it's a different culture. It's a different generation. It's a different mindset. It's a different breed. Um, Nowadays, we sit and watch um, things go on and transpire. In fact, to be honest with you, some of the parents are out there acting just as crazy as the teenagers, and no wonder the children don't respond well to those who are trying to help them. A and B get mixed up in a lot of stuff. Um, my heart goes out to all families who were tragically hurt by the loss over the weekend of our one of our own teenagers, Linux City. But the message has to be clear and it has to be made aware of that as parents, our one job is to protect our children and to guide them. And sometimes our children are a bit more haughty and hard headed, and sometimes they think they know everything. Yes, we've combated all of that. So we understand. We understand. But what transpired over the weekend, I literally live about 5 or 6 blocks away from, and it was something. It was something eerie. What I want to say, number one, to our parents is put your foot down. It's okay to say no. We weren't instructed to be our children's friend. We weren't instructed to do what our children asked us to do. We were instructed to lead them, guide them, and to make sure that their necessities were taken care of. And sometimes that means a little tough love and it means not having the happiest children, but I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But so long as they know that their lives will be spared and their lives will be protected and safe. So we make decisions based on how our children react to certain things we say. We make decisions based on, that's my friend, that's my little man, and I want him happy all the time. And I didn't get this when I was a kid. There's your first mistake right there. But you acknowledge, especially in front of your children. Yeah, my mom didn't allow me to go to parties when I was a kid. My son, uh, our son, our big boy, our middle baby, posted something on his IG the other day that made me realize children do take heed to what you're saying. And even if they get upset at the moment, they come back around and they it clicks. It clicks. But you gotta stay consistent, parents. And you have to stay on top of it. Sure, they're not gonna like every decision. They're not gonna like it when you say no. They're not gonna like it when you say, I don't know about this crowd. They're gonna debate. They're gonna tell you, well, mom, you just really don't know. That's my man's, that's my friend. But yet they don't realize that you really do know and that you really are paying attention and that you really do value life, right? So my son posted on his IG a message that's went a little like this. Back in the day, or at a specific time, whatever, we were upset at our parents for saying no, or we couldn't do this, or we couldn't do that. But now I realize they were really just protecting us and keeping us safe. Then he said, this generation is different. They ain't got it, they don't, not that they don't have it all, but they don't listen. And for us, we were like, wow, you feel that way. Like you speak to what we've been working towards and what we've been saying to you guys. And for the most part, we've had people come back. You need to just let your boys be boys and their boys. Let's just let them go hang out. They'll come back. They're good boys. I get it and I understand what you're saying. But we did not normalize violence. We normalized peace, intelligence, unction. We normalized listening to your inner man. Because if you don't feel right and something clicks and says, nah, something's about to go, move quickly and get out of the atmosphere. We did. We let them go to a few things. And it wasn't because we were you know, just didn't like no, it wasn't that. It was because we knew the ramification of crowds when they get angry. When you serve a body of students, you know which ones pop off like pop rocks, and you know which ones carry aggression and drama wherever they go. And sometimes they rolled off names, and we were like, no, that person, no, those folks, nope, nope, nope. Not that we didn't love all the children, because we do. We do. We serve a district and a community full of children that sometimes don't have support, and that sometimes go through a great deal of stress, duress, and a great deal of trauma. We serve a community that has a lot of traumas. But we also serve a community where guns are pumped into our community, where drugs are pumped into our community, where violence is pumped into our community. And so you have to use your discernment. You have to discern what atmospheres are conducive for your children and what atmospheres are not. Parents, you have to get your children. You have to handle your children. I heard my cousin, shout out to Damaris Jones. I heard her on her live the other night speak. Parents, get your children. You're the issue. You are the issue. And a lot of times, and it's true, it's very, very true, because I have some parents that come, no matter whether you're at a basketball game or you're at school or you're at work, and they will blame the people who are mentoring their children. They will blame those of us who are out there on the front lines attempting to help their children, because their children went the wrong direction. But it starts at home. It starts at home and it ends at home. If you wake up every morning and you don't tell your children that you love them, have a safe day, have a great day, and be mindful about where you plant your feet and your bodies, where you go, then you're in error. We have to speak to our children exactly where they are. We have to. We have to allow our children to know we're not old school to this. We're very hip to this. We know what is going on. We're not new. We know what's going on because we've been there. And we don't want you all making the same mistakes that we've made. And sometimes as parents, we overlook and dismiss. Let me say that again. We overlook and dismiss what we see in our children. We overlook it because, no, that's my baby. That's my baby. They not doing nothing. They good. I got them. Well, what you're doing is you're pacifying the errors in their ways. What you're doing is you're pacifying their uh radical behaviors. What you're doing is you're pacifying them being disrespectful to authorities, to adults, and you're pacifying them for getting into trouble. Stop doing that. Because what happens is when your child goes down for a 20-year bid, you're blaming everyone but you. You're blaming the police. You're blaming the school. You're blaming the church. Who's blaming the church for what you're not doing at home? And then you're blaming the mentors, the people who spend countless amount of hours with your children when they're angry, emotional, when they're high. And I do mean on drugs, smoked out on drugs, when they're high, when they're drunk, when they're angry, when they're bitter, when they're cussing at us, when they're kicking, screaming, punching, and pushing. And we're still standing in the gap. Some of you have the audacity to blame those of us who's been out on the streets and pushing success into your children. And then you turn right around and tell us, oh, they don't got to do that if they don't want to. Well, baby, keep your baby home because that's why they're getting into trouble outside. I'm sorry to say this. And even treading on light and even making sure that I speak the something correct. You can't come after those of us who are not living in the same house as you and yourselves. If you're not going to be responsible in being in the atmosphere where your children are hanging or partying or whatever's going on, then don't turn around and blame us because we too have families and we too are also thinking about longevity of life. And we too have a 9 to 5 schedule. And we also have children. And it ain't easy. It's very challenging. But at some point, as parents, you, me, we must stop pacifying the behaviors of our children when they're in error and hold them accountable and responsible. They need to know that life is simple and it's sweet and it's not to be taken for granted. You know how many times a day I hear kids say, I don't care. F you at this, I don't care. You ain't my mother. And I'm going to call my mother and she going to come up here and do that, da, 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 da. And then they call you mother and they call you father and you come up to the school or come up to the club or to the after programs and you act a monkey. You act ignorant instead of knowing that the staff that's behind your children are encouraging them for success. You come at us as if we're the issue. Wow. Wow. And I'm going to tell you something. Most people, especially that don't look like us, are not willing to stand in the gap for your children. There are very few that don't look like us that stand in the gap for our black and brown babies. So, as parents, you owe it to yourself to know that you have a support staff and a team that's out here grinding and working. But we can't do it if you're not going to do your part. Stop sending them to our buildings and to our atmosphere if you're not going to be accountable and do your part. Right. So somebody has to be held accountable. And you won't blame us, those of us that are on the front lines, helping your children to succeed when you demote everything that we do right on out of them. You don't want us putting our hands on them. And we ain't trying to put our hands on them. But when they square up on us, baby, who you think gonna sit back and watch some 6, 7 kid knock them out before they? No, I'm not. I love these babies, but job or no job, it's not happening. It's not happening. There's a level of respect that comes across the airwaves. If we love them where they ought to respect us where we are because we're not their enemy and we're not attacking them. And sometimes parents, you pacify that and you send them back to school knowing that they're a mess, and you don't come talk to the administration, or you don't come talk to the guidance, and you don't come talk to student services and find out what your resources are. And if you can get help, you don't do it. So why blame us? Why? Because it's unfair, it's unethical, and it's unpeaceable. Right. Mhm. And some of you have some really, really great kids, but their mouths and their attitudes and demeanors are, they need work. And for those of us that are trying to help them and work on it with them, you know, we can't do everything by ourselves. And a lot of parents, a lot of you folks come to our edifices and to our operations, and you push every ounce of your child on us because you're tired of them and you don't want to find a solution and you need help. Of course, that's what we, the village, are here to do, to help you, but we can't do your job too. So I'm very disheartened uh, over the things that transpired this weekend. But they're not the only children that are out here. We still have some Kia boys out here on the street. We still have some young fellas out here serving the public with heroin, dope, fentanyl, and ecstasy. We still have some guys out here, some young fellas and young ladies toting around ammunition and just shooting at people while they're driving or riding on a little motorcycle. Let's be realistic. It's a lot of sin and irregularity and disheartening demeanor and behaviors in our atmosphere. And until you do your parts at home, those of us on the front line, not to say that we're going to stop, but we're going to be mindful about the atmospheres we step into. And we walk in that thing prayed up. And we walk in there with a mind and a goal of success. But when you do you and you come at us the way you do, our babies are falling like flies. And it's because you guys won't take on the responsibility over your children. Get your children. In the words of my sister, get your children. As a matter of fact, you get you. Get you. Please get you. And get you right together and online. Because until you do that, you will never see eye to eye with us. And you will never understand why we do what we do, because we love these babies and we love our communities, but we don't have to die from every bullet that's spraying in the street because y'all don't want to do your part. And you want to, I'm tired, I got to go hang out. No, baby, sit when they sleep. Rest when they're in the bed and you know they're in the bed. Because real parenting is challenging and it's a all night 24/7 365 day of a year job, and you must perform it to a T. And I'm not saying that we're all perfect. We're not, because I'm not perfect. And my boys will tell you, I'll go off in a minute. If something ain't right, I'm off. But they know that we love them, have their best interests at heart, and they respect us. There's a difference. If we say that's not for you, it's not for you, baby. You got a lot of other things on the table that's going to take you where you can do something different. But losing a life in your life is not it. We're not doing that. So, parents, tonight's message was for you. It's for us as parents. You have community resources. I implore you to reach out to your community resources. You don't have a child, you have a child that doesn't want to listen, huh? And the needs, it's called Perform Care. It's called Job Corps. It's called boarding school. And there are scholarships and financial aid for boarding school. Sometimes our kids, our children, do not understand the moves we make on behalf of their lives. That's why they jump into doing things that they shouldn't do. But when that moment hits and they realize it could have been them, it'll click. It'll click. We don't have time to play around with life. Life is simple and it's short. And if you fight life, that thing gonna fight you back like a bag of bricks, because it wants you to respect it. And a lot of us out here are not respecting the life that God has placed in our hands. We're doing too much of this and not enough of listening. We're doing too much quarreling and bickering back and forth and not enough footwork and listening with our ears and moving in silence. Our children got a lot of things going on. I'm one of them parents. That's me. I go up in the room, I search the room. We are those parents, baby. In the room, searching under the mattress, in the drawer, in the clothing, wrapped up in the sneakers, in the sneaker boxes, in between the shoes, in the pockets of the clothing. Oh, we done seen it all. Written down in books, we have seen it all. So when they say we just couldn't get nothing past them, yeah, my four eyes was all in everything. My love's four eyes was all in everything. You know why? Because we trusted no man. And children, once they become teenagers, even young tweens, they're curious. They're sponges that soak up everything. And they want to know who's what, where, and why. So they're watching everything. And if we don't catch it, we're not keen enough to catch it, we'll miss it. Thank God. Thank God for Jesus. Thank God for love and grace and mercy, because my children's lives, our babies' lives, have been spared. And now they get it. Now they understand. I didn't say it was perfect, but now they understand. There's a reason why we say no. Not this one, maybe the next one. No, not this one, maybe the next one. But there's also another reason why we do what we do as the Inspector Gadgets and NYPDL and Chrissy that we are. Because we needed our boys to know, oh, we're here and we're well aware of what's going on. But not just that, we support you, we love you, and life is precious. Life is precious. It's okay that you're mad. It'll blow over. The steam will blow over. Yes, yes. It's okay. We can handle that little anger. Cause you can't beat nobody. But we can handle your anger. Just it's okay. But what we did not go for was sneakiness and telling us they are in one atmosphere and in another atmosphere is where they were. No. Our boys, no, negative. Call us when you step foot in the door. Call us in about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Call us and let us know what time you're leaving. Or you have until such and such an hour. If you leave early, we need to know. You're not to get into the car with nobody that isn't an adult that we've sent for you. If it's not us, it has to be a trusted person in the circle. Because I'm sorry, some of the adults, some of them adults was off the hook too. No, no, it's okay. I'll come get them. I'll pass. And sometimes you have to put your foot down and know that your children are safe and are guided correctly when you do the work. Do the work, parents. Do the work because it's necessary. Lives are being lost because of the lack of knowledge that we have, right? And because we don't do what we're supposed to do as parents. And I'm saying we in general, it's not all of us, but I'm saying we. So somebody's feelings aren't hurt. And I'm not going to call no names. I'm not going to, no, I'm not doing that. But we know who they are and we know who you are and we know who we are. But we must compile the tasks of being a parent and not being a friend. We must. We don't got time to be friends with our children because they're out there doing a whole bunch of things while you're saying, that's my little man, that's my man, that's my butt, and he's all right. And butt little man and man out there shooting up it, shooting up stores and showing his Glock it cuffed in his waist and smoking and drinking and carrying on and out there robbing the older ladies. Yes, butting them. Yes. And out there being a part of the little Kia boys and you be knowing and you still won't approach them and tell them what they're doing in error. That's not fair to the community. But I will tell you this. You will continue to see them falling like flies if we don't step on some toes and become real parents. See, the old school used to tell us, I don't care. I don't want them over here. My grandma, she said, I don't like them. They better not come up on my step anymore or something going to go down. My grandma. But the old school is what we ran for. I don't want to be like that with my kids. It's okay. Because that's why you suffering with them same kids. Right. Suffering, trying to be a friend and not a mother or a father. So the message is clear today. Parents, police your own children. Know where they are at all times. Have a curfew. Tell them they better be home by the street lights for them youngins. And for the mid ones, let them know the reality in the situation. If you go out there and you get caught up, chances are there's a 50-50 chance that you possibly could lose your life or someone else could. So be mindful, be respectable, and know when something is going down that you shouldn't be a part of. Move quickly, and get out of the atmosphere. I trust that this has touched somebody tonight. Again, as a community liaison and a mentor, I'm totally heart-stricken because not only are families affected, but friends. Some of my students are affected, and it hurts to the core because this is a never-ending thing. And it appears as though all these youngins have some chip on their shoulder. And for what? Bro, y'all ain't even stepped foot into living real life yet. You haven't even stepped foot into life yet, and you're yet angry at the world for something that the world didn't even have nothing to do with. It's you. You gotta blame yourself. You gotta talk to yourself. So I have about 30 seconds And I just want y'all to know that we are here for you and support for the family. We love you. We're going to continue to keep bringing you these heartfelt stories, touching the minds of our communities and reaching out for whatever may be necessary. But we need all of our parents in the communities to do their part. Handle your babies, a smooth transition, because we can effectively do our job when you effectively do yours. This is your girl, your big sis, L Vintage. Just here for a nice one-on-one, a heart-to-heart conversation tonight in reference to saving our children and saving us at the same time. Let's be there, let's do it, and let's teach them how to live and live correctly. We love y'all. We'll see you soon, and be safe. Peace, y'all.